Hello, my name is Tim Richmond, and I will be presenting on the self-presentation theory. Self-presentation is described as an individual's attempt to present themselves so that they control the audience's thoughts or the narrative about themselves, like what they might think, and they can appear how they wish to be viewed by others. Like, for example, if a person has to make a first impression because they're with new people, they might try to appear more formal, more mature by wearing nicer clothes and just speaking more mature than they normally would, so they fit in, I guess, and they might be afraid to show their true characteristics or maybe afraid of judgment. This article from opentextbooks.org debates if self-presentation creates a dishonest version of oneself, because when someone is evaluating themselves in self-presentation, they might, try to make themselves appear in a more positive light than they normally would because they want to fit in with the group. Like, for example, if a job candidate is going in for an interview, they might wear a suit so they appear more hardworking and dependable, so they have a better chance of getting the job, even though that might not be their true characteristics. And also, like a salesman that's trying to sell a house or something like that might appear more laid back and casual, so they appear honest and trustworthy, so they have a better chance of improving their sales. Types of self-presentation. Self-presentation can be present in pretty much any situation if you pay attention, just like how a person dresses is a part of self-presentation, how a person speaks is a part of self-presentation, and also like their movements and gestures and just their actions in general is a part of it also. Perfectionistic self-presentation is a component of the self-presentation theory, and this component includes like a person trying to appear perfect to others, or imperfect for that matter, just because they're afraid of their true characteristics and emotions being judged by others. This component also can hinder friendships and developing relationships because people won't show their true emotions and how they actually feel. Social media is also a big part of self-presentation, because if you look on someone's social page, you might see them, dressed up at a beach, making themselves look more luxuriant than they normally would, as to where if you saw them like walking to class or going to eat lunch on campus or something like that. This social media can cause a problem with self-presentation because it leads to people making false assumptions about others because they have to make judgments through a screen. Self-presentation overall. Self-presentation is something everyone has to think about before putting themselves in a social setting, and it can be beneficial if used correctly because it can present themselves as a more glorified person and more well-rounded human being. But if it is used incorrectly and ineffective, it can harm relationships and just hinder relationships because people can't really get a judgment on how a person truly is and their true characteristics. Pittman Jones is an author from the ResearchGate, and he describes self-presentation as being most successful as when the behavior being conveyed by an individual is consistent with what society thinks or knows to be true about them. Here are my references for my presentation, and that is all. Thank you for watching.